Joining us now, federal defense attorney Ronald Chapman II, as we get ready for sentencing and what will happen today. I'm curious, Ronald, what the conversation is most likely, given your legal experience dealing with defendants, between Bryan Kohberger and his legal team right now.
Well, there's not really a lot to do during the sentencing hearing for Kohberger or his counsel. We already have a deal that was made, death penalties off the table, and there's going to be, I believe, 4 consecutive life sentences that are given, plus 10 years for burglary. The real question is whether or not he's going to make a statement and the benefits of making any statement. Certainly, if he stands up and he talks about the offense as Donald Trump has asked for and some of the family members, we would expect that to be a relatively cathartic moment so that people can understand what actually happened that day. But I really don't expect that to happen, and I imagine his counsel is going to advise it's best if he remains silent, because there's no way to know how those statements might be taken by the judge. Other than that conversation, I think they're just prepared to move on, move forward, and he's going to go into detention for the remainder of his life.
You know, I think about this day for the victims' families, for the parents, for the siblings, for all of those who knew and cared for these 4 young people so deeply. And it's a day of dread and sadness and heartbreak. Maybe a day they've been looking forward to so they can get some closure or just move on. But when you hear victim impact statements, how much is it, Ronald, an opportunity for the family to give their loved one a voice, to face the killer and speak directly to them and be an advocate for the person they lost?
This is a very important part of justice, and it's great that we have a system where the families of the victims can stand up and actually face somebody who has now confessed to a very brutal crime and speak their heart and give voice. And I think that being in a country that allows that to happen and allows people to have a stake in the justice system and the ability to engage in this process helps people move forward with these types of offenses and these brutal crimes, regardless of whether or not the death penalty is given. We're going to see a few different faces here. We may see some people yell and scream and be very emotional, and that's okay. We may also see some people offer forgiveness, and that's okay too. Everybody will approach this their own way, and the court, I'm sure, is going to be patient and allow them to get everything out. There are usually very few limitations on what family members can say. I'm sure that decorum is going to be very important, and that will be kept.
Right, and the judge is very aware of that. Final question about the judge. The judge was quite methodical in the plea deal hearing when he asked Kohberger directly, did you kill this human being, naming out each of the 4 young people who were murdered. What might we hear or expect from the judge when he speaks this morning?
The judge is going to be very careful to make sure he hits the required elements of every sentencing proceeding. And he's going to do that to make sure the families have an opportunity, the prosecution does, but also to make sure that Kohberger does not have any basis for appeal. Usually appeals are waived in deals like this, so we won't expect one. But the last thing he wants to do is create an appellate issue. That'll be his primary concern. I don't expect any questions from the judge about the offense or an attempt to get any more information, but I do expect the prosecution, given that there's been multiple requests for it, to give a bit of information of what Kohberger might have told them about the offense during their sentencing argument.
Yeah, this may be their one opportunity to do so. Ronald Chapman II, thank you so much for your time as we get ready for this sentencing here moments from now. Our special coverage begins here in